Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally doesn't work. And welcome to Dallas Cowboys on Deck. That's right. Thank you, fan, because you gave me the idea for it. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm on my deck. So, Dallas Cowboys on deck. Now, before I get to the topic here, I want to say something, and I want to be very, very clear about this. Um, I've gone after some people like Kennedy and stuff about hating on Dak Prescott and things like that. But understand this: there's no hate involved in any of this. Like when I didn't agree with Okoye, there was no hate about his opinion versus my opinion. In fact, I've always said that I appreciate having people that have a different point of view. I don't want everybody who just automatically agrees with me because, I've seen a lot. I've been here for 53 years going on in my life. I mean, I used to watch TV on a black and white TV. I remember going to the air traffic control center, and the computer system that they have filled up what would have been two gymnasiums, which had less power than a cell phone does today. I've seen them land on the moon. I know all kinds of stuff about building and construction, but I don't know everything. And I have a great friend of mine who is completely on the other opposite side of the fence. Politically, we are polar opposites. But we can sit down and have a conversation, and sometimes I can understand his point of view and see where there's things right, and vice versa. So understand, when I don't agree with you or you don't agree with me, it's okay. I don't hate you because of it. And we should be able to have a conversation, because what might actually happen is you may learn something if you're open to a difference of opinion. You may learn something that you didn't know before, or you may see things differently. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of you say, I'm in love with Dak Prescott. Oh, is he your son? What is it about Dak Prescott? What it is perception versus reality. The same thing happened to Tony Romo. Tony Romo was treated like the worst quarterback in the world. Granted, he was not Joe Montana, but he wasn't as bad as the narrative made it out to be. And unfortunately, if you hear something enough times, you'll begin to believe it. And so I try to at least put out there more of what's realistic, more of what's reality. A lot of people's minds are closed and they won't ever listen to it, but I at least want to put out there the difference. And see, when it comes to Dak Prescott, reality versus perception are two major different things. And the Dallas Cowboys, for whatever reason, are scrutinized more than anybody else, unfairly. And I know you're saying, no, Mark, Dak just sucks. He's not a good quarterback. He regressed. There was 6 games without a touchdown pass. He's a bum. I'll take Marcus Mariota over him. I'll take Jared Goff over him. Hell, I'll take Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco, anybody but Dak Prescott. But see, that's because of what has been fed to you, and you're not open to the numbers. And I've given you guys numbers over and over again, and it's funny because you prove something with the numbers, then the numbers don't mean anything. Well, here's the thing. How many of you guys would rather have Derek Carr for your quarterback? I guarantee you a lot of you guys would say, oh, hell yeah, man. If we can trade up Derek Carr for Dak Prescott, do it. Get that guy, man. He was number 60 this year in the top 100. Where was Dak? Dak wasn't in there. Dak was not in the top 100. Derek Carr, he was there. But look, Matty Ice, he was 30-something. I'd take that guy. But this goes back to perception versus reality. Derek Carr was 11 last year in the top 100. Dak Prescott was 15. Both of those teams were playoff teams. And both of those guys were expected to be guys challenging for MVP. Derek Carr was the hot stud quarterback, the new gun that was out there. But here's what's interesting, because he dropped to 60. His completion percentage, 62.7, 3,496 yards, 22 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions, with an 86.4 rating. Right? Kind of average. 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. But I bet you would be happy if Dak Prescott had those numbers last year, right? Even though the Raiders were 6-10 and the Cowboys were 9-7. Because if you actually go through and we compare the numbers of what Dak Prescott did, who wasn't in the top 100 like Derek Carr was, Dak's completion percentage 62.9. 0.2 higher than Derek Carr, who was number 60. Yardage, Derek Carr had him by 100 yards. Dak had 3,324. Carr had 3,496. But touchdowns and interceptions, identical. They both had 22 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. We won't talk about some of those interceptions of Dak's that were in the guy's hands that let it go and ended up being interceptions. We won't talk about that. But we also have to add to that Dak Prescott had 6 rushing TDs to that. And QBR, his rating, 86.6, 0.2 of a point higher than Derek Carr. So, in essence, their numbers are identical for last year. I'm not saying either of them had a great season, but yet, a lot of you fans out there would say, I'll take Derek Carr in a heartbeat. He's voted 60 in the top 100. I'm not saying he deserved to be 60, yet he was. I don't think he deserved to be 60. To me, in my mind, that wasn't. Nor did I think that Dak Prescott was. But what I'm saying is, the perception is, for whatever reason, Derek Carr is the stud, Dak Prescott is the bum. And I wonder why it is that Dak Prescott gets scrutinized the way he does, yet a guy who has the exact identical numbers, whose career numbers are less than Dak Prescott, doesn't. We don't hear that this is a make-or-break season for Derek Carr. We don't hear that he's got accuracy problems, that he's a bum, or we don't hear any of those things, but yet the numbers are identical. So I ask you guys who hate Dak Prescott, explain to me the difference between Derek Carr and Dak Prescott and why Dak gets so much flack, but Derek Carr doesn't. We are completely blessed right now because Derek Carr just signed a big, fat contract. For a while there, it was the highest one until, Matty Ice got his. So you're playing close to $30 million a year for Derek Carr. You got the exact same numbers from Dak Prescott for under $1 million. So all of you guys that hate Dak Prescott, you need to wake up. You need to just stop hating on the guy and give him a chance. Because 22 victories in 2 seasons, averaging 11 victories a year, it's better than Tony Romo ever did in his career. I'm Mark Holmes. It's Cowboy Joe Boo. And I'll see you guys soon. Love being out here on the deck.